stop, just fire away. It's alright, breathe into life. And if you're feeling good thoughts, find your best self and ride the wave. It's alright, breathe into life. Think you got a shot, don't stop, just fire away. It's alright, breathe into life. And if you're feeling good thoughts, find your best self and ride the wave. It's alright, breathe into life. Think you got a shot, don't stop, just fire away. It's alright, breathe into life. And if you're feeling good thoughts, find your best self and ride the wave. It's alright, breathe into life. Time after time I question myself. This is not what it seems. Day after day I try to believe. Seems like I'm living a dream. Sometimes it makes me wonder, is there a door that's open? Take a chance and see, can you believe? It's time to live and see the light. Take the time to fight and do what's right. Gotta take it on one step at a time. I'm gonna open my eyes to a brand new day. 'Cause I'm here to stay. Temptation, it lies beside me. Titties and give and take. Thoughts tend to spin, make me so crazy. Why did I do this again? Sometimes it makes me wonder, is there a door still open? I can't wait any longer. Do you believe? It's time to live and see the light. Take the time to fight and do what's right. Gotta take it on one step at a time. I'm gonna open my eyes to a brand new day. 'Cause I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay. Oh. Charlton down the line, racing against the tide. Follow us and see Alex to victory. We hear the battle cry. Tonight is do or die. We fight and you will see Alex to victory. Charlton down the line, racing against the tide. Follow us and see Charlton sea of red. Charlton down the line, racing against the tide. Follow us and see Alex to victory. Alex to victory. Alex to victory. Alex to victory. Alex to victory.
Welcome to Fortress Valley, where Johnny Jackson's Addicts have won 4 of 5 here, and there's no sign of letting up. Cambridge United, the visitors this afternoon, and with the chance today to finish in the top 10. Plenty coming up pre-match, where we will speak exclusively to caretaker boss Johnny Jackson and midfielder Sean Clare, who I have to say is doing an absolutely superb job in the defence. We'll also hear from Richard Wiseman about Charlton's fans' annual food bank donations, and we'll look back at Tuesday's great win over Ipswich. Well, no curbs today, but I'm delighted to have our lucky charm, Stevie Brown, in the studio with us. Stevie, feeling lucky?
Always. I'm still undefeated.
Still undefeated? I can't believe I called you Stevie. OK, we also have, alongside both of us, a Charlton TV debutant today.
That was Richard Rufus, and here comes Graham Stuart! Yes! It's a goal for Charlton! It's the new signing, Graham Stuart!
Graham Stuart. Hugh Graham Stuart. 1-0.
Absolutely no problem. Nobody was sent the wrong way. The corner. Terry involved. Bounce well for Stuart. Come back.
Got to Hansen. Van der Sar pushed it away to Stuart.
It is welcome back to the Valley, Graham Stuart. Stewie, how are you?
I'm very well, Scott. Thank you very much indeed. Great to be back at the Valley. I haven't been back forever.
Have you not?
No, I haven't
Time.
been back. It's just so good to be here again, and had some magnificent memories down the line here. So I'm really excited about watching the game today.
How do you feel when you're watching those goals, looking back?
I think there's a sense of pride, not in scoring the goals, but just in the team that we had there, Scott. We had such a good team, such a great work ethic between the lads, on and off the pitch. You know, the camaraderie was sensational, and really, really good memories. I mean, for Charlton to be finishing 7th and 9th in the Premier League,
Yeah.
I mean, it was magical moments for us.
They were the glory days, no doubt about it. And your roommate's here, Brownie. Good to see him in.
Of course, it's good to see him. It's always good to see ex-teammates, always. But yeah, we roomed together for 3 years, and I was just saying over the other side that, you know, I couldn't have done any worse. I had Stuart Barmer, you know? So I had Sweaty for 7 years, who was like the most unhygienic man you could ever wish to room with, and nobody else would room with him. So when Graham came in, it was like a godsend.
What was he like as a roomie?
Oh, he was good. He did what he was told.
Yeah.
When I wanted a coffee, he got me a coffee. When I wanted my bath running, he ran me bath. He was he's a
When
good
you wanted
egg,
your
Brown.
grapes, he brought them in as well?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So, no, he was good as gold. I mean, he's never short of a word or two as well, so conversation was never a problem.
Mate, I can't believe you said that, because that's what Curves has been saying all along. We can't get a word in while we're here, so please try and jump in when you can.
Do your best, Scott.
How much, though, you're looking forward to today's game and what we hope will be a near-capacity Valley?
Yeah, it'd be great to see the Valley bouncing. You know, we were lucky in the fact that the Valley was always full in the Premier League days as well. But we've had some magnificent afternoons. We need to replicate that now, because that does help the players. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's a two-way thing, isn't it? You know, if the players are performing well, the supporters come through the turnstiles. It's very, very simple. But great result against Ipswich here the other night, which sets it up perfectly for today. But we've got to remember, Cambridge weren't too bad themselves midweek.
No, they weren't. We'll come on to that in a bit. But I mean, Brownie, I have to say, we're playing well on the field. We've got you here in the studio off the field. All set up for a win, aren't we?
I would say that it's almost put it on your coupon as a three-pointer.
Because you're here.
Absolutely. Nothing to do with the Tuesday night. I'm in the studio. It's at minimum a point, isn't it? But we won all three.
We certainly do. OK, lots coming up pre-match, so let's get straight to it. I spoke to Johnny Jackson a little bit earlier. Jacko, first of all, another great win on Tuesday, wasn't it? Particularly the second half where we completely dominated Ipswich. Where does that rank for you in terms of this season? You and I had a quick chat after the game, didn't we? I thought it was the best. What did you think?
Yeah, I think on reflection, probably the best we've played so far, Scott. I think I liked in and out of possession, which were really pleasing. Obviously, we limited them to no shots on target, very few chances, and obviously created a load as well. So I think we sort of put both sides of the game together, which was really pleasing.
Yeah, I think a 4-0 wouldn't have flattered us by any stretch of the imagination. 4 wins out of 5 at home, though, since you took over. All high energy and exciting performances. What's been key to that?
Well, the players obviously have bought into what I'm asking. The work that we've done on the training pitch, they've managed to implement the way that we've trained, I think, and obviously the way that we've managed them between games, because it's been quite a tough schedule. So to constantly get that energy and that level has been good, but it's a challenge, obviously. You know, playing pretty much every 3 days at the minute, and I haven't made too many changes to personnel. So that's the challenge. Can they do it every 3 days? Can they do it again today and show that level of energy?
Tell us about the team.
Yeah, so just one change with that in mind, really. So Lico comes into the team. Jai Simi misses out. Just with one eye on Jai Simi and how many minutes that he's played, and just trying to sort of look after him a little bit and just bring a little bit of freshness to the team. With Lico back fit now, obviously he's a major asset as well on that side of the pitch. So just something we're looking to do there.
Now, the fans might look at Cambridge and think that we should be beating them quite easily, but they had a good campaign last season, of course, getting promoted. Great win on Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from them?
They're a good side. They're a good side. You saw on Tuesday night, scored 5 good goals. They got goals in their team. You know, they let a few in as well. So something that we'll be looking to exploit. But we know that they can create. I think at the top end of the pitch, they got some really good players that are obviously going to cause us a few issues that we need to deal with. But confident with where my team's at, how we're playing, and how we approach every game expecting to win.
And just finally, we've had 2 big crowds in the last 2 home games. We're hoping and expecting for something similar as well. What's your message to the team or the people that are coming in today that they're going to be supporting the lads?
Just want to thank them for the support. The last 2 home games here, the Plymouth game, Tuesday night against Ipswich, the atmosphere has been absolutely incredible, and I think you can see that the effect that it has on the team. So obviously my message would be for everyone to get down here, support the lads, because it really, really does make a difference to what they're doing on the pitch.
It's making a difference all round. Good luck today.
Thank you.
You can tell these 2 are teammates. They're already going at it now. Anyway, back to the team. Just the one change, as he said. Jonathan Lico comes in for Dylan Jayasimi. And Brown, you have to say, look, DJ has done fantastic since he's come back in. But Jonathan, I thought, was our best player before he got injured. So by no stretch of the imagination does this weaken the side, does it?
Absolutely not. No, like if you go back to that Sunderland performance, he was the match winner, Lico. So in terms of in terms of the team picking itself, you thought it would after Tuesday, but what a great position to be in if you're Johnny Jackson. You can make the odd change here or there, and if you're Jonathan Lico coming into this side, with the confidence it's showing at the moment. You know, if you rewind a couple of months, Scotty, you kind of were coming in firefighting.
Absolutely.
Now you're coming into a confident team.
Absolutely. Jaden Stockley had a loan spell with Cambridge 7 seasons ago. Scored twice in 4 games. In great form now, 12 in 12, 6 in his last 5, 8 in his last 7 here at the Valley. But it's the partnership with Connor that's going so well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not just their partnership, actually, I think right across the pitch, it's going magnificently well in terms of the units that Johnny's put together. But the front two look really lively. I mean, you've got Connor running the channels. He's running off the ball is so unselfish. I mean, if you look at the second goal when he held up play, waited for support, that kills the game for us. And as we know, Jaden's on fire in terms of goals scored, and it's a lovely little partnership in more ways than one. You've got that big man, little man, which, you know, has been so successful across the history of football. But yeah, I mean, you look at them and that puts confidence in the rest of the team when you know your front two can score goals.
Stewie, obviously you don't like to be picked every week, but did you and do you think that team consistency of selection is absolutely crucial?
Yeah, I think it is. It's vital. But what's more important is that for Johnny, he can afford to do that now because he's getting a level of consistency out of the players. And that makes the big difference. He can trust who he puts out on the park on a weekly basis, whereas, you know, when you're winning one week, drawing the next, losing a couple, you're not quite sure. You're forever shuffling your pack to find the best balance, whereas now the players are performing exactly the same way that, you know, Johnny wants them to, and it makes his team selections very, very simple. He can you know, bring 1 or 2 in, but fundamentally he's keeping the core of the team together.
And Brownie, for the first time, makes a really good point, doesn't he? About when players they're coming in now, they're coming into a really confident and settled side. That makes a big difference to coming in. It's like, not everyone's looking after themselves, but things are a little bit fragile.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what are we, 6 weeks ago now, you're coming into the side and you're coming into the side because they're hoping you're going to make a huge difference and you're going to get the ball rolling, whereas now you're easing into a side that's full of confidence, playing well, winning games of football. So much easier to step yourself into a side that's doing that than one where you're coming in and, you know, confidence is low and then people are looking at you as the name to try and change it all. So I think Johnny's done a wonderful job, simple as that.
Let's have a look at the league table and see where we sit at the moment. Of course, we are in the bottom half. Tuesday's win against Ipswich saw us rise above Bolton into 14th. Level on points with today's opponents, Cambridge. Another victory this afternoon could see us get into the top 10, depending on results elsewhere. Cambridge also went above Bolton with a 5-0 thrashing of Charlton midweek. Bolton went 3-0 down at Fleetwood. And if we look at the top half, Rotherham continue to lead the way, having stretched their unbeaten run in all competitions to 19 with a 5-1 thrashing of Gillingham on Tuesday. There we go. Wigan and Wycombe both level on points with the leaders, Wigan with a game in hand. Sunderland rose to 4th with a great victory, 5-0 over Morecambe. MK Dons dropped out of the playoff positions with a 1-1 draw against Plymouth. They themselves moved up a place to 5th. Plymouth lost their manager Ryan Lowe to Preston earlier in the week, and Oxford's 2-1 win at Doncaster took them into the final playoff spot. And Brownie, look, you look at the top 3, Rotherham, Wigan and Wycombe continue to lead the way. I mean, not even my optimism will suggest that we can go for an automatic promotion place. But that in itself is developing into an exciting race, isn't it, in League One?
Absolutely. I wouldn't rule Sunderland out of that either. I'd say a top 4, Scotty, are vying for the 2 automatics. We've always said about Rotherham and Wigan and Sunderland being in there. Wycombe, just by the sheer nature, they were a championship side last year and have kept, you know, the majority of their squad together. They don't have the biggest budget, Wycombe, but they do have a togetherness and they do work hard and they are hard to break down. So I wouldn't ever rule them out either. I think below that, I think Plymouth started the season obviously very, very well. They've now lost their manager, who's taken up, I think, the championship job at Preston, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But they've appointed internally, so they're looking to the continuation of that. But I don't think they're going to hang in there, if I'm brutally honest.
So, Stewie, how far down are we looking at? We're obviously looking at the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
we've got to say 14th at least.
I mean, realistically, playoffs, you know, is what you've got to be aiming at, surely. I mean,
there's a lot of teams going for those playoff places.
There are a lot of teams, and somebody always comes with a late run as well. It always happens every single year, whichever league you're looking at. You know, you look at Sheffield Wednesday lurking there as well, a side with, you know, great history about them. They'll be looking to push on as well. But I just think this Charlton side can really give it a good go. I mean, turned Ipswich over here, you know, in midweek. No one really saw Cambridge sticking 5 past Cheltenham.
No.
So there's weird results week in, week out in this league. From anything from Championship down, you get some very, very strange results. So it's all about consistency for me. If Charlton can get another run of 4 or 5 games together, picking up 11, 12 points, all of a sudden the playoffs is definitely a target.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the League One fixture list this afternoon. It is a full one. 7th versus 6th. There's MK Dons face Oxford, 4th versus 5th. As Sunderland play Plymouth, while leaders Rotherham will stay top if they beat Burton. So what's the pick of the bunch for you today?
I think you've got to be looking at the Sunderland, Plymouth and Wigan Ipswich games for me. I mean, I think Sunderland, Plymouth is a really tough game. I'm never quite sure about Sunderland. Just when you think they're going to push on, they come unstuck, especially at home as well.
Lee Johnson's Streaky Lee, isn't he?
Yeah,
wins loads,
of course,
loses loads.
Exactly, that's right.
So they call him.
And Wigan, I like Wigan. I think they're a good, enterprising side. Ipswich looking to bounce back after the defeat here. So they're 2 games that stand out to me.
Brown, as I said earlier, we could get into the top 10 with a win, and with Burton facing Rotherham and Ipswich travelling to Wigan, we could potentially get there, couldn't we, today?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we've got to take care of business here, which you kind of expect us to do with the run we're on. But yeah, the one for me there is MK Dons Oxford. If we want them both to draw, don't we? As much as we're on a good run, that 10-point gap's just maintaining, isn't it? And those 2 away games kind of set us back a little bit. But yeah, I think if we can pop the 3 points on the board today, which I think we all expect us to do with the way we're playing, all you can do then is get in the dressing room, look at the table, and go back to what you said many weeks ago. All you can do is keep clawing back a little bit of time, but they are starting to look up now, aren't they? Yeah. A couple of weeks back, it was still just get to the next game.
Positive,
I know. I'm getting there. You're rubbing off on me, mate. You really are.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it is a good thing. Yeah, no, they can start looking up, but you want to see that 10 points become 7, become 6, become 5, and then you really will see the snowball effect from that.
Yeah, we want to finish the day in top 10, but it's about getting 6th come the end of the season. And I spoke to Keith Peacock in the week as well. He made a really good point. Imagine if we hadn't have gone on this run, how far we would be away.
Yeah, and that is to take into consideration. But it's no one's going to think like that. In terms of where we were and now where we're at, there's just a positive feel, not just within the team, but around the stands as well. I mean, you have to say that the crowd's been superb the last couple of weeks.
OK, more on today shortly, but let's get to club news updates now, shall we? First up, we start with the news that today is our annual Christmas Spirit Day, and supporters are invited to donate to our award-winning Charlton Athletic Community Trust to help support their work in the local community. Now, I've said this on Tuesday, but it's well worth repeating. In the last 12 months, CACT have made and received over 260,000 phone calls via the Greenwich Community Hub, delivered 3,255 emergency food parcels, made over 16,500 emergency service referrals, and provided financial assistance to 385 vulnerable households. You can donate to them by scanning the barcode on screen. Staying on the subject of our community trust, earlier this week they added another award to their trophy cabinet. They won the Young Londoners Awards at the London Sport Awards on Monday. And the Young Londoners Award, in association with Sported, celebrates the outstanding work of individuals and organisations who are providing people under the age of 25 with the best opportunity to live a physically active life. A big well done to Jace Morgan and all his staff. Truly amazing staff. Ticket news now, and more specifically, half-season tickets, which are still on sale, priced from just £110. A half-season ticket will become active from our home match against Gillingham on December the 29th. And why would you not want to see Charlton right now, Brownie? And even meet you as well somewhere along the way, and play a part in getting us towards those playoff places. You can buy a half-season ticket by visiting the Valley's ticket office in person, by phone, or by heading to booking.cafc.co.uk. Finally, a streaming update, and supporters are reminded that today's game is only available to live stream outside of the UK and Ireland. That's per EFL broadcasting rules. As is the case with every Saturday 3 p.m. game this season, we can only live stream outside of England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, Jersey, Guernsey, the Isle of Man and the Republic of Ireland. And overseas fans can purchase a match pass for today's game for just a tenner by going to cafc.co.uk. OK, up next we have the second edition of our now regular December feature.
Seriously.
That's the best you've ever looked.
I know. Listen,
That's his best clobber,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm really disappointed the jumper's not here.
I know, yeah, I think Curbs took it, to be honest.
See, he's got his shields up again.
Yeah,
Says it's mine. Brownie needs that. Takes it home.
Did you like the jumper?
Love the jumper.
You're gonna wear it
I was
one
going to
time?
wear it today. Yeah, I was, but it's not here.
Okay.
Well,
We have got the sack somewhere, haven't we?
Yeah.
No Curbs today, so you're stepping in. What have we got
Well, I'll tell
inside
you
your
what.
bag of goodies?
We'll find out in a minute, Scotty, won't we?
Suspense is killing you, Stewie, isn't it?
Any time this
Something's
week,
killing.
Well,
Something's killing
someone's
us here.
knotted it. I mean, why are you stringing around the top? Right, this is where I'm not like Curbs. You just do that, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that is magnificent. There we go.
Okay, every match day in December, we'll be promoting a
Harvey
different item
Floyd.
in the club shop for this Christmas. We treated Curbs to a lovely Christmas jumper on Tuesday, and today Brownie has got the brand new Floyd and Harvey soft toys. Make perfect Christmas gift for any young supporter, and they are priced at £14.99. Guys, what do you reckon?
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Bit of you?
Well, my kids are 25 and 22, so I don't know what George would do with that if he opened that on Christmas Day, to be honest, but it's perfectly acceptable for the younger members of our supporters.
Floyd and Harvey were mascots when you guys were
Yeah,
playing as well.
absolutely,
They came
yeah.
back in the summer, of course, so
Yeah,
like old
lovely,
times.
lovely little touch. That'll be a nice little present for somebody, Brownie. Somebody who will appreciate
Half glass
it.
empty again, you know, I
Absolutely.
don't know what happens.
It
I don't know what
would mean
happens.
he's dipping his hand in his pocket, though, so, you know, you might have to buy them for him, Stewie.
There's every chance of that. I mean, never change the habit of lifetime, Brownie. He's asked me if I want to have a drink afterwards. I think it's only because it'll be my round, no doubt, obviously.
OK, we'll be back with the next edition when we play Plymouth next weekend. OK, today is the club's annual Christmas Spirit Day, and supporters are invited to donate to the Greenwich Food Bank. And Charlotte Richardson spoke to Richard Wiseman from the Charlton Athletic Supporters Trust a little earlier.
Thank you, Scott. Richard, a very warm welcome to Charlton TV.
Thank you.
And I understand that Charlton and the Supporters Trust have been running this initiative for a number of years now. Can you tell us a little bit more about it and why you do it at Christmas time?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't actually the Supporters Trust who kicked this off. It was an individual Charlton supporter 3 years ago called Sam Spong who approached the club and said, would you be interested in us having a food van collection here? The club were very keen to welcome that. And then the following year, as a Supporters Trust, one of our fundamental aims is to build and nourish links between the club and the community. And we were aware, we hadn't heard of any news about it being repeated. So we came and approached the club in 2019, took it off from then. It didn't happen last year for obvious reasons, but we're back again now.
Well, it's great to see it back and to be welcoming the collections today. Can you tell us a little bit about where the items are collected, where they go to, and the importance of the Food Bank Collection Initiative?
Yep. We'll drive the van off this evening or tomorrow morning back to the centre at top of Shooters Hill. The food is distributed right across the borough. There are about 10 collection points from Thamesmead up to Blackheath. And it's used, I think the food bank said to us, approximately 1,000 people per month receive food from them, and just under half of those are children who wouldn't have access to food without this. And the reason it's important, even more important than ever now, is that food banks used to be in position for emergencies. So someone loses their job and they're waiting 5 weeks for benefits, and it's to tide them over. And that's no longer the case. With COVID, with the increase in energy prices, with the £20 a week cut in universal credit, with general food inflation, it's no longer for emergencies. It's actually embedded in the weekly shop, and people are going to have to decide sometimes between heating the house and feeding the family.
Yeah, it's an absolutely incredible cause. And I wanted to ask you, how impressed have you been by the generosity of Charlton supporters?
It's fantastic. I mean, we've had people queuing up with shopping bags, and they've been to Sainsbury's outside Charlton Station, filled them up and brought them to the van. And I think it's also worth commenting, they've been imaginative about it. You know, I mean, staple foods are important, but it was wonderful on Tuesday night when somebody turned up with a huge bag full of chocolate bars, because it's Christmas coming up and rice pudding's great, but, you know, so I think it's fantastic that people have responded in the way that they have.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. And for anyone watching or catching up on this, how can Charlton supporters get involved?
Okay. Well, unfortunately, it's probable that we'll be back next year again. And we're also thinking about perhaps doing a collection in August, beginning of the season, because the school holidays is a difficult time if you're short of money and you've got kids at home. So obviously that will happen. But the food bank are very keen to stress that this is great, but food poverty doesn't end after Christmas. Would really encourage people to go onto the Greenwich Food Bank website, find out more about how they can donate food, but also perhaps make a regular monthly financial donation to see the keep supplies up throughout the year.
Brilliant. Well, Richard, thank you for joining us on Charlton TV and for the wonderful work that you and the Trust do.
Thank you very much for having us.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you. Back to you, Scott.
Yeah, great to hear from Richard there, and on behalf of the club, thank you to everyone who has donated to the Greenwich Food Bank this week, and also thank you to our Supporters Trust for organising the donation drive. Right, Stewie, this is your debut, so we've got to go down memory lane.
Okay.
You ready?
I think I am, yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to find out if I'm not.
Your room is involved as well.
Right, go on then.
First question though, April '99. You played most of your career in the Premier League, of course. You were at Sheffield United. Then you got the call from Curbs to come to Charlton. What did he say? How did he persuade you?
It was pretty straightforward for me, Scott, because obviously the Premier League to the Championship, there's only one place you want to be, and that was the Premier League. So it was a straightforward decision in terms of getting back into the Premier League. I know at Charlton at the time we were in a bit of a precarious position, but Curbs was brilliant. Just basically said to me, I want you to come down. He said, I've got a terrific set of players. He said, they'll give me everything. He said, I've watched you a good few times for Sheffield United. I like what I see. I think you'll fit in great. And that was pretty much enough. That was enough for me, Scott. And it was a good opportunity for me to get back down to London as well.
You joined us, what, in the middle of the relegation battles, you kind of said, came close to getting ourselves out of it. Won a 7-goal thriller up at Villa to take it to the final day. Did you think that you could do it?
Yeah, we always had that belief. And that was heightened by that game again, at Villa Park. It was an incredible game of football. So many twists and turns to it. I'll never forget Robbo's celebration. I mean, seriously, talk about a fella losing it. If you look back at the highlights, John Robinson, his celebration for the 3rd or 4th goal is just off the scale. It's worth a look just to have a giggle. But an incredible game of football, and with so much on it as well, to keep ourselves alive. And it took us into the last game of the season where we were here. I think it was Sheffield Wednesday we played. It was one step too far for us. Sheffield Wednesday were pretty decent at the time and we couldn't manage to stay up. But we retained the squad. That was the most important thing. Curbs managed to retain the squad and we built on it.
Come on to that in just a second, but going back to the Villa game.
Yeah.
It was a good one, wasn't it, for you?
Yeah, of course. I jog on and make a half-decent fist of a save, don't I? I mean, I don't know what Andy's doing there. I mean, bless his heart, and try to fake an injury. I don't like people that do that. Sending off coming shortly, I'm sure. But yeah, no, Pez gets sent off. And I knew straight away on the bench, I knew that he was getting sent off for that. And I pulled the shirt on, the gloves on. And obviously, the first thing to do is organise the wall. And
what's going through your head at this time? Please just save it. Please just save it.
No, I mean, just to organise the wall, Scotty. You don't know this is coming. That could be delivered into the box. It could go over the bar. I might not have to make a save.
Oh, so you're such a professional, aren't you?
Yeah, you're just organising the wall, and then
Should have done a bit better though with the parry. You shouldn't parry it back into the middle of the goal, Brown.
He should have held it.
Maybe. But that's a wonderful strike. I mean, he only had one club in the bag. It was a one iron, so he could only do that really.
But Stewie, I mean, just on Brownie. Being a part-time goalkeeper, I remember him when I was sort of growing up. Even in the youth team, he'd always try and after training, put the gloves on. Was he like that?
Forget the part-time keeper, part-time player he was. Hey? You know about a goalkeeper?
No, I mean, camaraderie we did as a
he
squad.
never let us down, did he? I mean, he never let us down. I mean, you knew. You must have been stood there, Brownie. You knew for a fact they were going to shoot. There was no way you were going to get away without somebody having a shot at you.
Yeah.
So to come on and to save that shot was fantastic. But it couldn't have been easy, but somehow, some way, we got ourselves through it, didn't we?
Yeah, and that was synonymous with that group at the time, right? I said over the other side when we were in the lounges just a minute ago that we found a way to dig in and get results when we weren't playing particularly well, just with the way that the squad was in terms of its work rate. We outworked an awful amount of teams, and if you came here and you didn't give everything that you had as an opposition, you were going to get rolled over, and that's what that side was very, very good at.
Stu, as you said, relegated, but then kept the squad more or less and went up. How important was that?
Yeah, that was hugely important because we knew we'd give ourselves a chance. The club was on a very, very sound footing financially. Richard Murray ran the place excellently. So, you know, we knew we had the capability to keep the squad and to really give it a good push. We walked it in the end. We absolutely walked the championship, didn't we? We were by far the best team.
We had a run of 12 straight wins from Christmas to March, which catapulted us about 10 points clear. And actually, we got over the line by drawing games, didn't we?
Yeah,
we drew at Blackburn and won the title because nobody else won that day. But it was a comfortable championship.
I think the most important thing after that was that you know we'd learnt the lessons from being in the Premier League, maintained the squad, and then built on it again, and then had an unbelievable few years in the Premier League.
Yeah, financially sorted because, as you said the other day, he was on 7 one-year contracts all the time. Never
roll
got
over contract. Yeah.
Said he always. I watch players go up every week. What's he have to say? New contract, cracking. Always last. Just see what's left over. Give him a couple of quid more. He don't want to stay. I was always last in.
He's not bitter.
No,
I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
Look, we talk about that brilliant run, and it was a fantastic run as well. And we're going to look at the Wolves game here, but that sealed the 10th win on the spin. What was key to that winning run? You know, can you? Well, you can't bottle it, but what would you say to any team that's looking to try and go on a winning run?
I mean, I think confidence, you just build momentum. That's the most important thing, momentum. Once you get on a run, once you get an absolute belief in the camp that the fella next door to you isn't going to let you down, that just spirals on and on and on. And when you just walk out on the pitch with the mentality that you can't get beat. And it's a fantastic feeling to have. And you know your luck's in when things like that happen.
Yeah.
Steve Brown. I mean, what a strike, Brownie. I mean, to be fair, I'll give you your due. You could always strike a ball.
Yeah, he could always strike a ball. Talk about Danny Mills having the one club.
No. Mills, he literally just had. We used to kick off, go back to Mills. He put it straight up for a goal kick, the other end of the pitch. I had a bit more in the locker than that, but no, I mean that was
great technique, though. I have to say.
Yeah. Listen,
and I have to say, I don't want to say.
No, I know you don't. And I'm glad Curbs isn't here because he wouldn't praise that at all. Whereas at least you two have said, well, you know, it's not a bad strike. Curbs would come up with some reason why that was awful.
Why you were that high up the pitch?
But
there was a nosebleed there.
Yeah, absolutely. But that particular run we had there started away at Huddersfield, I think, and Yowsey went off at half time with I think he split his kneecap, and we went on this incredible run.
So Yowsey started the winning run, did he? By coming off.
I did. I don't know who come on a sub for him, but it made a big difference, I think.
Okay, let's move swiftly on then.
Yeah, but the confidence just builds. There wasn't a game where you went into it we didn't think we were going to win.
Yeah. Let's go to the Premier League. We've spoken a lot on Charlton TV about how teams have come here, the big boys, and you managed to turn them over. What was key to that for you?
Again, belief. I mean, there's probably a little bit of teams come here and thinking that they can just turn up at the Valley and turn us over and not really realising what they were up against, because they were always going to be up against a workmanlike side that were always going to put a shift in, and they probably overlooked the fact that we had an awful lot of quality in the side as well. And you know, the game here against Arsenal, I think I think it was this one, he saved the penalty as well.
I'd say we were underestimated a lot by a lot of the top sides.
Yeah, we were.
They came here and thought, you know, because we weren't known for that hard work, but Graham's absolutely right. We had a lot of quality through that side as well.
Tell us about Patrick Vieira during that game. He wasn't happy.
I was just going to say, in that game, he weren't happy. I mean, I've never been the greatest tackler you've ever seen in life, but I went in to tackle him, and I went in with my left foot and my right went with it. So it kind of looked like I've two-footed him. Yeah, well, I didn't mean to, Scott. I didn't mean to. I genuinely didn't.
You can tell us now, did you mean to?
It was the most nervous 15 minutes I've ever had on a football pitch in my life. He was running around telling me he was going to kill me, right? And I've never played 1- and 2-touch football so much in my life. I was just getting it, just dropping it off and everything, just running away from him. But no, he wasn't an happy man. But I genuinely didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, okay.
He's a unit as well, by the way. I mean, 6'4".
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It was a mismatch if he got hold of me.
No, I was on the pitch with him as well, and it's like, okay, fair enough. So looking at a career as a whole, you spent what, 6 years here at Charlton, and arguably the most successful years in the history of Charlton as well. So where does it rank for you in terms of your career being at this club?
Do you know what, Scott? I look at it. I mean, I had success at Everton. We won the FA Cup at Everton, which was, dreams had come true moment sort of thing. But I always look at the comparisons about the team we had at Everton that won that FA Cup and then went on to finish 6th the season after. And it was exactly the same as the lads here at Charlton. You know, the great work ethic, good characters on and off the pitch, you know, played hard on and off the pitch back in the day when you were allowed to a little bit. But
no camera phones.
No, yeah, it was all right. Your worst case scenario was back of the Sunday people in those days, but managed to avoid that one as well. But no, I mean, they were just great times at both football clubs. You know, the camaraderie I had as a kid growing up at Chelsea, Scott. You know what Chelsea was like. You know, we had a good set of young players coming through, combined with some good experienced players as well. So the biggest thing for me in the whole of my career is I enjoyed every single club I went to, and it was because of people like the Brownies of this world and the characters that we had.
I'm just about to ask you now, the impact he's made. You got to give him a big one now. He's mentioned you.
Yeah, no, I remember when we got to the '98 final, we went up and we came down again. The changes that had been made at the top end of the squad, everybody that was coming in, you knew they were making us stronger, they were making us better. And that's I'm not putting down anybody before that time, because we were not a bad side before that, but you just could see on the training ground better quality. Kylie in goal, Graham Stuart coming in, you know, and I said it over there and I say it again now. Football intelligence, he's up there with the best of them. You know, he moves people around, he's got good technical ability. But as a group of players, when you see players coming in and the training goes up a level, and the performances go up a level, the belief that goes right through, not just the 11 that start, but right through the squad, it really does, you know, snowball effect very, very quickly. And we saw, I mean, he did some good homework, Curves, didn't he? I don't like to give Curves too much credit, you know.
He's not here.
I mean, people pat him on the back all the time, but he really did. He really did, in terms of recruitment, have a really good run. You know, some player after player just came through and just elevated us every time.
Stu, I never played with you, but I played against you a few times, and obviously we know each other off the field as well. It's great for you to be here, really enjoying your company, and hopefully you've enjoyed Memory Lane.
I have enjoyed Memory Lane. It's been great, and I can't wait for the game to kick off and just watch the lads now, because I've really, you know, as I say, I haven't been back to the Valley, and it's so great, and the crowd's building up now, the atmosphere is good, and I just hope Johnny Jackson and Yuli can keep the team going and keep them pushing on, make a right good push for those playoffs.
I'll tell you what, the performance on Tuesday was absolutely superb. Brownie, talk to us about it, will you? Because the first 20 minutes you wasn't quite sure which way it was going to go, but after that, you know, not only not concede, but also not even have a shot against us.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to like about the performance, isn't it? And you can go back to that. I mean, it's a wonderful finish in the end from Stockley, but the hard work was done, you know, in the build-up to that. Washington's run off the shoulder was absolutely outstanding. Caught the back four out, but he did it time after time. You know, once the goal went in, Scotty, it was only one winner for me. And although we sat here, you would have sat in the studio, me up on the gantry going, it was so dominant, you'd thought one goal just wasn't enough, and they might get something out of the game with...
That was the worry, but...
Yeah. But it didn't materialise.
Yeah, I mean, it's a positive problem if you're dominating a game and you're not scoring enough, because normally it's like you're on the back foot all the time. But who were the standout performances of you? I was speaking to Matty and Curves, being midfielders, typically they were, and Alex Gilby was superb. I personally went for Connor.
I did as well. Yeah, so when Thomas asked me after the game who was your man of the match, I said Connor Washington, and he'd give it the old little raised eyebrows.
He would have done that to me then. Because he asked me as well.
Yeah, but no, I thought Connor's...
It just when it was 0-0,
yes,
Stewie. You know, when it's 0-0 and the game's in the balance. And not that Alex stepped up once we were winning, because he was very good as well. But he was the one thorn in the side going in behind. I mean, you know, we won 4 of 5 at home now. Just how important is home form if you want to try and win promotion?
Yeah, again, we mentioned it across the way there earlier on. Most sides, you know, their season is reliant on how their home form is. Most teams tend to do a whole lot better at home. No different here. I mean, it was weird actually, because we had a couple of really good years at home form, and then we had a couple of years where we were better away from home. So it can go both ways, but predominantly, if your home form's good and you're picking up the odd win away from home as well, you're always going to be in the top half of the league. So, you know, it's vitally important. I mentioned it before, Scott. Momentum is so important, and we've got to make sure they build on that this afternoon.
Absolutely. Well, midfielder turned defender Sean Clare had another great game on Tuesday, and I spoke to him about an hour or so ago. Sean, thanks for joining me. We're on a great run at the moment, particularly here at the Valley. How much are the players enjoying things right now?
Yeah, I think you can see it on the pitch. Everyone's really enjoying it, working hard and expressing themselves. Like you said, we're on a great run, and the aim is to try and keep that consistency home and away. So that's the plan. We know what we need to do, and it's just about us turning up.
Yeah, on Tuesday, when the second goal went in, everyone ran towards the bench to celebrate. What does that tell us about the team spirit right now?
Yeah, I think you can see a really big unity between all of us. Everyone's really happy whoever scores or however we get the win, from players to staff. So I think that just epitomised it really, the celebration, and you've got everyone on the bench jumping up, and obviously the fans as well. So yeah, it was really nice.
On a personal note, you've absolutely nailed that right-sided centre-back spot, haven't you? Were you surprised when you were asked to go back there? Did you think you could do as good a job as you're doing? How much are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I was surprised. Jacko came to me one time in training and was like, "Have you ever played there?" And I was like, "No." Last time I played centre-back I was about 11. But no, I'm enjoying it. I think it always helps when the team's doing well and winning games. But yeah, I'm just happy to be on the pitch and helping the boys. Everyone around me has really helped, from Piercy, Aki, and everyone who's played there with me has really helped. So yeah, I'm just trying to improve in that position and obviously keep this run going.
Well, it looks like you've been playing there since you were 11, so keep up that good form.
Appreciate that.
We saw your My Story interview recently where you speak about being in the club's academy and then leaving. So what does it mean for you now then to wear the first team shirt of Charlton?
Yeah, it's still kind of surreal, if I'm honest. I was thinking about it yesterday, kind of sitting up just behind you there, watching the games. Yeah, it's an amazing feeling, and coming out and hearing the crowd singing Red Red Robin and stuff like that when I used to sing it in the crowd. So yeah, it's kind of a pinch yourself moment for me every time I step out here.
And just finally as well, we've had big crowds for our last 2 home games, 2 fantastic victories as well. We're expecting another one, certainly in terms of the crowd, but also the performance in the victory.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, what's it like playing in front of a busy, loud Valley?
It's amazing, really. I think there's not many clubs that can match that, especially in League One. But this club needs to be higher than League One, and the fans show that. So I think it really gives us a boost on the pitch. You can see from the performances. So the more that come in, the more we kind of feed off their energy, and it's really helpful as a player. Obviously, you would know that, but yeah, it really helps us. It
certainly does. Yeah, Sean, listen, carry on that great form. Well done.
Thank you. Appreciate
Good luck
that.
today.
Cheers. Thanks.
All good. Well, Brandy, look, he's a central midfielder, but he's playing on the right side of the back three. I have to say, he has been absolutely superb. That's been following the injuries of Adam Matthews and Chris Gunter. It looks like he's been playing there all his career. But do you think he'll stay there? Obviously, there's Sam Lavelle and also Ryan Innes to come back in.
Yeah, you've got to think that you're probably going to revert back to a natural centre-half, but I mean, he's made a case, hasn't he, to stay in there over a centre-half coming back from an injury. So, I mean, when it first got announced he was going to play him there, we all thought Dobson might go into the back three, didn't we? Because he's naturally that kind of defensive-minded player. And actually, he's done really well. I mean, he's made it look quite simple, which it's not. It really isn't. It's a specific position that he's made.
Make it look simple.
Well, no.
I'm only joking, of course. Stuart, I mean, you may not have seen much of Sean, but he's a very versatile player. How important is versatility in the squad?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's. I think I play nigh on every single position on the pitch, so I know all about the versatility side of things, and it can have it. It's a great thing for a manager, but you know, sometimes it can work against you as a player. So you're the one who might be playing midfield on a regular basis, and then all of a sudden, because of your versatility, you drop into the back three, and it can cost you position when everybody's fit, as Brownie touched on. So that's the danger for Sean, but he's putting the team first. That's the most important thing, especially at a time like this, when trying to get yourselves up the league. You know, it's an unselfish thing from Stu, but for the future, try and tie down a position.
Absolutely.
That would be my advice.
Definitely. OK, just a few minutes to kick off, but let's remind ourselves of the team, shall we? Just the one change that Jacko has made ahead of that fantastic win against Ipswich on Tuesday. Jonathan Lico comes in for DJ. I have to say, extremely well-balanced side, isn't it?
Yeah, and it has been for a while. You know, it's playing with confidence. The one thing I came out of Tuesday with is that that's the first time I've looked at that side and it just wasn't going to get outworked. It wasn't going to get outfought. From the time that they scored the goal to the 90th minute, there was only one winner for me. It was just a shame it took so long to get the second. If I think they got the second early in the second half, we could have gone on to sort of 3 or 4.
Yeah. Cambridge, great result Tuesday, having beaten Cheltenham 5-0 on Saturday, although it was their first win in 5. They do have goals in them, being the 3rd top away scorers in League One with 17. And Joe Ironside got a hat-trick on Tuesday. What's the mentality for us ahead of a team where the fans are coming in, great ticketing initiative again, Stuart, they're expecting a win. It's not going to be that easy, is it? It's
a dangerous cocktail, isn't it? When fans come in and you're on the back of a good run and there's an expectation level, you've got to meet that expectation first and foremost. So I always look at the goal scorers. Joe Ironside comes in off the back of a hat-trick, so let's make sure we keep him quiet all afternoon as best we possibly can. The first 15-20 minutes of any game is incredibly important. Yeah. Don't give them a sniff. Do everything you want, you know, do good things in the first 10 or 15 minutes. Don't take chances. Turn their back four. You know, Connor Washington will naturally do that anyway. Get the ball in their half of the pitch. Get the crowd up. That's the most important thing for me.
How do you see it, Brownie?
Yeah, I think all the time we've got the threats with the front two and playing the way they are brimming with confidence. I expect them to get on top of that Cambridge side. But like you said, I think they're the fourth top scorers in the league. You know, they've got a great away record as well, but home as well, they're popping in goals. But then in saying that, Macaulay Bond come here Tuesday, 11 goals, not a sniff. Yeah. And so I think we need to be confident ourselves. We always talk about oppositions and what they can do, and you know, there's no expectation on Cambridge, but it's always down to us. Be on the front foot, be confident. And if they show anything like the work rate and commitment they showed Tuesday, I fully expect us to get the 3 points.
He's made some impact, Johnny Jackson, hasn't he? Looking for 3 more points. Been absolutely superb since he has taken over. As the managers shake hands, let's get to our commentary team of Terry Smith and Greg Stubley.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Brownie. Thank you, Graham. Good to see Graham Stuart back at the Valley. And yeah, it's a bit sad that we haven't got Brownie alongside us. Greg, you know, obviously the lure of a Christmas present was far too much, and he has abandoned us for the studio. But that aside, the team, Johnny Jackson, and the fans, of course, will just be wanting us to carry on from where we left off Tuesday night.
Oh, no question about it. This is a team that have really, really impressed over the last few weeks, and I think what was more impressive about that game against